Hello fish fools, Jeff here. So this is my 10-gallon quarantine tank. I've gotten a lot of use out of it. Along the way now I have quarantined several batches of fish. Most recently I had another group a little over a week ago that have moved on to their new homes. And I was, just after that, ready to get some more fish. So the first one I got was this betta, this red female betta. Got that from PetSmart. But I got that because the last group of quarantine fish I did have a female betta, but did not last a week in quarantine, and I lost that fish. But this one has now been in here a little over a week and looking good. And I was going to get fish right after that, but I held off on that because when I was removing the last group of quarantine fish in here, I took out all the Java moss, and so it was easier to catch them, so it wasn't in the way. And I noticed little specks moving around, and I thought maybe one possibility was they were tiny fish fry. Some egg layer fish, they're so tiny when they first hatch out. So I thought, the possibility that the last group of fish in here, maybe like some more egg layers, maybe they were fried from them. But then last night I did a water change on this tank and pulled out all the Java moss again, and I did again notice that little specks moving. But if they were fish, they would have grown significantly in size. I mean, they would have still been tiny, but noticeably bigger. And in the course of a week, I would have definitely been able to recognize them as being fish, but they were still like some little specks of some sort of water bugs or microfauna or something. But yeah, so they were not fish, so that is why I went to Petco today to get some more fish and to add them in here, the next batch of quarantine fish, and we'll be presenting a new fish haul. And they were I had some platies from the last group of quarantine fish, and they did have babies in here. So when I was moving those fish to their new homes, I found 3 platy fry in here. Just yesterday when I took out the Java moss, I found 2, and they had grown noticeably bigger. But so I found 2. Maybe there were 3 in here, but could have been hiding. But yeah, I did see 2, so they should still be in here. And all right, so enough of that rambling. Let's present the Petco fish haul. All right, so I lowered the water a couple gallons because I have 6 bags of water to add in here to acclimate them. So yeah. Alright. Reaching for the first bag. So, it's about time I got cherry barbs. I've never kept cherry barbs before. It's a new species for me. I've kind of had them in mind, but haven't pulled the trigger. But this time I did. So I believe there's 4 in here. I believe it's 2 males and 2 females. And the tank at the store looked like this one. Well, maybe these 2 are darker males. They're kind of pale now. And 2 females. That female looks good. I did notice in the tank there was one that was kind of lethargic and not looking so good, and that ended up being one of the easiest ones that was caught, and that's what I have. So we'll give it a chance, see how it goes. All right, that's the first bag. And I'm reaching for another. So here we have a red flame dwarf gourami. a pair of red tiger platies, and a neon tetra. So, I was pretty psyched to see these platies. These are really cool looking, some sweet platies. Once before, I had some red tiger platies that I got from my local fish store. Back when I first had my 3.5 gallon, when that was my Neo Caridina shrimp tank. And I put those in there. It was kind of serving as a quarantine tank too, as well. But they did have camelinus worms, and in that 3.5 gallon they had fries, but it was like none of them. They would maybe live as long as a month, and I lost them. But these are looking pretty healthy, coming from Petco, and pretty psyched about that. We got a neon tetra. That was the last one they had at Petco, so I wanted to get some more, so I got that. That's really kind of one of the things that I had in mind, because I wanted to add some neon tetras to the group. I already have my 40 gallon. And red flame gourami, dwarf gourami. So previously I have gotten powder blue dwarf gouramis for my 29 gallon swordtail community tank, but none of them lived very long. Maybe, I don't think any lived as long as a year, but this time I'll try a red flame gourami. I think I never did before. I think I heard somewhere along the way these can be a little more aggressive compared to the powder blues. So I don't know by how much, but I'm going to give that a shot. My 29 gallon. That's going to go in the 40 gallon with the others that I have. One of two 40 gallons, and a pair of platies I figure will go in one of the 40 gallons. These I think I'm going to put in my 20 gallon long that has guppy on their hybrids, the skunk corridors that the previous group of quarantine fish that I added in there, and sparkling gouramis, rosy loaches. Yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do with those. Alright. The bed is checking out the new fish. Hey, just introducing itself. Alright, let's reach for another bag. Black Mollies. So this is going to be a second try with Black Mollies. I got some before from either PetSmart or Petco, and had them in mind to add to my 84 gallon community tank. But when I got them shortly after, they were sick in quarantine. It looked like they had what I diagnosed as columnaris. I'm not sure, but they had just like white spots, not ick, but they were sickly, and I did try to treat them with medications, but I separated them even from the quarantine tank, if I remember, but they did not live to make it out of quarantine into the tank. But hopefully I'll have better luck this time. I've tried different types of mollies. This is the second time with black mollies. I've tried sailfin mollies before, but they never really did well. But I'm gonna try again. Hopefully, I mean, I'd like to have some these to add to the 84 gallon. Add yet even more dynamics to the diversity of that tank. All right, another bag. This is just one female platy. I thought it was cool looking. So one lone, kind of a mutt, maybe some varietas. Xiphophorus maculatus or Xiphophorus varietas, maybe a mix of those, but it was cool, so I got it. That'll go on one of my 40 gallons. Alright, and let's reach for another bag. And here, some more sweet platies. These are green lantern platies. They were looking nice and healthy. Along the way, sometimes I would see these and for whatever reason, like I would pass on them because they wouldn't look too healthy in various PetSmarts or Petcos. But these look nice and healthy, so yeah, I wanted to get these. All right, and the last bag. The last bag is not fish, but it is something. Does include something that is entirely new for me. So I got a couple snails. This is a rabbit snail. First time I've ever kept a rabbit snail, so it's bigger than most snails. I mean, it really looks like a kind of like a giant Malaysian trumpet snail, but that is, I'm gonna put that in my 84 gallon. And I figured I'd get another mystery snail. So I've had mystery snails before, but they're okay. Kind of disappointed me because they don't live very long, I don't think, but kind of realizing that maybe that's just probably even longer than like the snails that I do have, like ram's horn snails and bladder snails, but those just reproduce so much that it's not noticeable if they live short. But I once had mystery snails and they laid a clutch of eggs, but they never hatched out successfully, so yeah, figured I'd get one for the hell of it, and maybe at some point I'd like to get some more and maybe try to get some surviving babies. Yeah. Alright, so here's all the new fish. So once again, be converting my quarantine tank. This will be looking like a community tank again. So I think this is everything that I'm going to be getting, but I do still need more neon tetras. So I may, if I can, I might try to stop by a PetSmart tomorrow to get some more to add in here. And then once I have all the fish with more neon tetras at least, I will then add the quarantine medications. Alright, so they're going to temperature acclimate here for a bit, then I will add some aquarium water to the bags, more acclimating that way, and then I will release them in the tank and we'll take a look at them when they're swimming free in the tank, so stand by. Alright, so they've all been acclimated, all here in this specimen container, and I will release them into the quarantine tank. The first thing I'm going to do is reach in and grab the snails, just in case, because they can cling so that they don't, they're not clinging, they would have just slid out, but I'm just going to get them anyway. Alright, this is the mystery snail. And the rabbit snail. First ever rabbit snail. Alright. And here we go. Just gonna pour them in. Unlike some of the bigger tanks that I can kind of lower them in. Doing this with one hand. Just gonna have to see them pour in. There goes a platy. There's everybody else. And get in there. The Gourami was stuck. Okay, that's everybody. On there, if I didn't point that out before, I'm not sure if I did. That's the red-eye tetra. That's the permanent resident of the quarantine tank. Well, let's see see what we have that we can see out here. Cherry Barb, dwarf Flame Gourami, Platy. There's the red tiger Platies. Another Cherry Barb over here. Oh, there's the betta. The two Green Lantern Platies. Somewhere in there would be the neon tetra. There's the Gourami. So this is, the bed has been in here for over a week, so that's her turf. So see how she welcomes the new temporary tank mates. And I don't know if I pointed that out, but that's a zebra narite snail that I already had. And there's some bladder snails in here. There's a molly, one of the two black mollies. Alright, so I'll fill this up with water and let them hang out in here for a while. As I mentioned, I think I'm going to try to get some neon tetras, some more neon tetras to add to this, and then after that I will add quarantine medications and then leave these in here for at least a week after that. And if they're all looking good, then they can be moved to their new homes and spread out over several of my community tanks. I'm really excited about these red tiger Platies. So these have twin bars, those black bars on the top and bottom of their tail fins. I mentioned I had red tiger Platies before. The ones I had before were not twin bars, but these are, so even better. And they are looking good. Nice and healthy. It's nice to have fish like their fins are spread out. Sometimes new fish, sometimes even just at the store, and their fins are clamped, but these are looking nice and healthy. Alright. Well, that's it for now. And remember, I'm Jeff, and I enjoy fishies. Thanks for watching.